in the full forecast. But for now, I want to show you some live looks. If you're having to get out, you will need to allow plenty of time. It is recommended that you hang back. I know there's a lot of school cancels this morning because of these conditions. Temperatures right around 28 here for Tulsa, 27 over towards Pryor. We'll stay into those 30s this afternoon, keeping that cloud coverage around. But again, that precipitation will be out of here. Winter weather alerts remain in the forecast. Hazardous driving conditions. We'll also talk about how to clear off that car because I'm seeing a lot of cars out looking like snow globes trying to drive around, which can be treacherous for other drivers this morning. As well, snowfall totals, the latest updates to that on what we're seeing and how much more we could potentially see. Dealing with some light and even some moderate bands of snowfall back towards Cleveland, extending up towards the Hominy area, and that continues to move from west to east this morning. We have live team coverage. Mark Fulta has been out and about, keeping a close watch on those area roadways. Again, those untreatable surfaces still creating some slick spots. You can see some of that precipitation coming down in his headlights as we speak. As we look at your winter weather, some of those winter storm warnings have started to diminish, so some good news there, but still dealing with a winter weather advisory and a winter storm warning for most of our location. And this remains in the forecast until noon, and we'll bring you those updates as we go throughout. That precipitation, again, will be wrapping up this morning, and then we'll stay with a mostly cloudy sky as we go throughout the day today. And we'll check in with Mark Fulta, who's been out and about last night. He's out and about this morning, too. Keep a close watch on those area roadways. And as you can see, some flurries again still coming down across the area. But look at those roadways. It is snow packed. It is hard to drive on right now. Yes, the snow does allow a little bit of traction, but you need to take it very easy and very slow as those crews are still getting out and about trying to treat those roadways this morning. So allow plenty of time. In fact, double that typical commute that you would have. Go ahead and double that time. Still remaining under that winter storm warning here in the Tulsa Metro. Winter weather advisory over towards Oklahoma City, extending up towards Ponca City. This remains in the forecast until noon. That precipitation will be wrapping up here in the Tulsa Metro by about 7 to about 8 this morning. So as you're getting out and about, that snowfall will start to taper off. So there's some welcome news because we have seen an abundant amount, so much snowfall that we've seen in quite some time for that matter. Let's talk about how much longer on radar because some of our westernmost counties not getting quite as much as our easternmost counties. Still dealing with that snow extending from Grand Lake down towards Seminole about 10 this morning, and then that'll slowly break apart and we'll stick with a mostly cloudy sky as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures this morning, ironically, some of the warmest temperatures we've had over the last several mornings. We're sitting in those 20s as we are getting our day started. 28 here for Tulsa, 30 up towards Bartlesville. Tuesday have some wind chill value, but not bad. 19 feels like over to 4 Acre, 20 up towards Copan. For today, that snow will be coming to an end this morning. Those winds will be out of the northwest and it came around the backside of the passing cold front. Temperatures likely to climb a degree or two above freezing by this afternoon, but look at later on tonight into early tomorrow morning will likely drop into those teens. So anything that does melt ever so slightly will likely refreeze through the overnight and more slick spots will likely present themselves. So if you're not having to get out, just take it easy right now, especially as we head into the weekend. We'll see some improvement, especially by Sunday with temperatures climbing around 43. Morning, a lot of you might be heading into work as well. As we are looking at radar this morning, snowfall still coming in across the area. Light to moderate bands continue to impact us over towards the Cleveland area. Now here for Tulsa, we're getting a little bit of light snowfall, but we do have some moderate bands still trying to make their way in. So we're keeping a close watch on things, still anticipating another ½ inch to an inch with maybe some locally higher amounts on top of what we've already seen. That's all coming up. Today, winter weather advisory does extend from Bartlesville over towards Oklahoma City. So that's what we're looking at, where the highest hit areas indicated by that pink, still dealing with that snowfall in the area with some of the flurries and some of those moderate bands still impacting us on top of what we've already seen. So another ½ inch to an inch likely as we go throughout the morning hours. We will get a break in this here from west to east over the next probably about mid-morning, so we'll say about 8, 9 o'clock is what we're looking at here for Tulsa, and then further off to the east, it'll be later in the morning, maybe early afternoon. We do have live team coverage. You can see Mark Fulta is out, meteorologist Emma Landeros is out as well. We'll check in with both of them here in just a minute, but for now, it's all about that snowfall still impacting us as we go throughout the morning hours. Years. In fact, here for Tulsa County, we're looking at closer to about right around that 4 to 6 inch ballpark. The lesser amounts mainly resided around Pawnee, extending back towards Osage County. You could see some pink sprinkled in throughout as we go right around the Broken Arrow area. So even higher amounts from 8+ in those locations, but very isolated. Further to the south, that was still the hardest hit area as we anticipated. And we did, sure enough, have that pocket where we're seeing some indications of anywhere between 8 to 12 inches. Some could have seen a little bit more. Again, the snow is still coming down and we are wrapping things up, but we are bringing you those totals. And we appreciate you reaching out to us and letting us know how much you fell in your backyard too. That really helps us out. And of course, we love just the pictures, seeing your family having fun in this. Let's talk about what we're looking at. This snow will not be with us much longer. We'll get this out of here and we will get a break in that precipitation as we head into the weekend. We are still dealing with some winter weather impacts, so take it easy. Slick road conditions in that high to almost extreme category. Snowpack is helping, but we are still dealing with those treacherous conditions. You will need to double your time that you normally would use to get to your location this morning, as those crews have been working around the clock trying to treat those area roadways. Power outages are still a concern as well. I want to pull into Tulsa County. Starting to see some areas over towards Fayetteville as well. But here for Tulsa County, we are highlighted in blue. There's a report about 715 on OG&E right around the Sperry area. So we're keeping a close watch on things this morning as we were talking about potential for some power outages. 28 here in the Tulsa Metro. Northwest winds about 3 miles per hour. Winds will continue to be out of the northwest 5 to 15, and that will keep those temperatures 30s as we go throughout the day, with feels like temperatures into those 20s. Highs right around 34 here for Tulsa, 36 to Pryor, 35 over towards Bristow. For the weekend, we will climb into those 40s. Have been falling up, but just a ton of snowfall for this one system, really impacting the southern portion of the state as expected. The timing was spot on. Now it's making its way out of here. So we are done with snow, but that cloud coverage is still looming, and that will continue to be the case. So temperature is really not going to respond for today. So we're going to hold on to that snowpack on the grounds for today. A little light melting potentially, but that snow will be with us as we go throughout. So that's not going anywhere anytime just yet. 33 down to McAllister, 34 here for Tulsa, 34 over to Pryor, 33 over towards Muskogee. As we look at those winds, those are starting to increase, which is not looking great right now. We don't want those winds to increase. That's going to keep an added wind chill around, and those winds will be out of the north. Check this out. 20 is what it's feeling like to Blackwell, so it will be cold this afternoon. Continue to keep that coat and those gloves with you, not for the precipitation that's coming down, but because of these cold temperatures and those cold feels like temperatures still lingering in the forecast. Only getting to those temperatures into those mid-30s by this afternoon. We'll get a little break in that cloud coverage as temperatures fall later on tonight. We'll dive more into this and, of course, your snowfall totals. But for now, we have live team coverage. We're going to send it out to Brody. Brody, I still love what you said earlier this morning. You've been with us since 4:30 this morning. I love that you mentioned that 28 degrees. It wasn't tropical, but it was a warmer start this morning. So we're going to send it out to Brody right now with more updates. Look at Wilverton, a foot of snow with this one single system. We've seen some of the most snow that we have seen in 14 years. You have to go all the way back to the end of January, beginning of February of 2011. If you can remember back to there, we were looking at that much snowfall in the area in a single storm system. So very impressive. Jinx 7 anticipated was down further to the south, just around Poto, extending down towards a Stigler area. That's where we're seeing some of that snowfall totals ranging around 10 inches to about a foot, if not some areas a little bit higher in one storm system. So impressive snowfall, that heavy wet snowfall. It's out of here, folks. It's gone. It's moving over towards Missouri, continuing to track towards Arkansas. So we are saying goodbye to that. That cloud coverage will be with us. We will get a few breaks in that could help melt some of this a little bit. But keep in mind, those temperatures really not going to be warming much. You can see some sun trying to peek through out the horizon. 34 here for the Tulsa Metro. Northwesterly winds 15 miles per hour. Dew point right now at 29. We'll see the sunset tonight at 5:28. So good news there. We are getting a little bit of daylight each and every day. 34 here for you, the current temperature here in Tulsa. 33 down towards Porter, 30 over towards Tahlequah. Winds have started to pick up out of the north. I know it's indicating around the backside of that cold front. 20 is what it's feeling like over towards Blackwell, 27 down towards Okmulgee. After what we've gone through earlier this week, I think we can deal with these feels like temperatures easily. It's not feeling great out there, but we've had worse. 35 as we head into the afternoon. That's it. That's where I'm capping things. We will see some sun peeking through. But I was talking with one of our employees earlier saying, you know what, maybe not shovel some of those areas because we do see the potential for some refreeze tonight. So you almost want some of that traction on the grounds. 35, that's it for your high temperature. 36 over towards Pryor. Look at these overnight low temperatures. Keep in mind that snowpack on the ground. Clear skies, those temperatures will fall quite a bit, so it's going to refreeze anything that might melt a little bit or that you've shoveled or created any slick spots. Likely to be an ice rink out there tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind. Take it easy if you're not having to get out, wait until the afternoon. 41 for your high temperature on Sunday. So we do see improvements over the weekend. We do drop down Monday, but it will be brief. Temperatures warming back up into those 40s, potentially 50s by late next week before our next cold front really takes hold late in the weekend into early Monday as we look in the extended planner. Now we do have live team coverage. Emma Birch has been out and about all morning long as well. She's over in Broken Arrow right now. Emma, what's going on over there? Traveling is still hazardous. Allow a lot of time as you're headed out and about, or just hang back because we will see warmer temperatures over the weekend. That'll help kind of melt some of this away. We will stay in those 30s by this afternoon, so we will be a degree or two above freezing, but notice those wind chill values not climbing above those 20s. So it will stay cold for today. We do see some sun trying to peek out, but not a whole lot. In terms of those high temperatures, only look at 35. Again, we are warming up into the weekend. We'll talk about just how warm we are going to be all coming up here a little bit later. There with temperatures likely to drop down into those teens later on tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about what we are seeing out and about for today in terms of those temperatures. Will we get some sun peeking through? I know that would be nice. We are starting to see some areas trying to get some sun peeking through, mainly over to the west and up to the north. Not quite as much sun over to Bartlesville, but some sun is peeking through, as well as here for Tulsa. It's 34, 33 down to McAllister, 32 over to Stigler, as well as Tahlequah, 32 over towards Grove. Starting to see those winds picking up out of the north, signaling we're on the backside now. That cold front that shut off any of that precipitation from making its way into our area this afternoon. So we are done with that snowfall. Temperatures are feeling, though, even colder because of that wind gust right now out of the north. It's feeling like 20 degrees over towards Blackwell. There goes that snowfall, as you can see, just off to the east. So we will see drier conditions working their way in. So we're done with the snow in the area. And boy, we have seen a lot. Some of those snow reports, Wilburton coming in at a foot of snowfall just with that one system. No wonder those snowmen are waving out there because they've seen a lot of snow. Tulsa, it was 6 inches, Jinx 7, McAllister 11.5. And that is where you'll find Brody, who has been down there for a while now. And he's been keeping a close watch on things. Brody, what's the latest? 11.5 inches of snowfall in McAllister. That is very impressive. In about 14 years in one single storm system. So very impressive. That snow is moving out this afternoon. Driving conditions, they're still not great, so hang back at home. Just enjoy the time right now with the snowfall on the ground because it's not very common that we get this around here. Snowfall totals, of course, everyone wants to know how much fell in my backyard. If you haven't measured it already, I'm going to bring you those totals. Maybe you're hanging in indefinitely, and that's probably a smart call as we are looking at some of these high in snowfall totals, especially further south. You can see kind of that pocket right outside of Tulsa, Pryor, down towards Wagner, over towards Coweta, over towards Okmulgee, up towards Bixby. That was another area that was hit fairly hard, 8+ inches of snowfall for that location. If you go back to the north, off to the west, you could see Osage County over towards Pawnee and Stillwater on the lower end with that snowfall, but still measurable snowfall in the area. As we go a little bit further south, as anticipated, we did see higher amounts. This is over just around the McAllister area and then back towards the Oklahoma-Arkansas line. Poteau extending around Stigler, Fort Smith. Those are some of the hardest hit areas, with even Wilburton seeing upwards of a foot of snowfall in that one single storm system. So again, very impressive in terms of that snowfall. And again, we did it. We even talked about how we haven't had a good snowfall in a while, and sure enough, it came through. We're going to keep that cloud coverage around, so we're done with the snowfall, not adding on anything else on top of what we've already seen. Future track with that radar, you can see that cloud coverage really bubbling up. We should get a few breaks in there, but they will be few and far between. So I'm not expecting any widespread sun to be peeking through for today. 34 here in the Tulsa metro. Temperatures really not budging all that much from where we're at right now. Northwesterly winds at about 15 miles per hour. Dew point at 29. Temperatures generally sitting into those 30s right now. 32 down towards McAllister, 31 over to Tahlequah, 33 right now towards Miami, 30 over towards Blackwell. But with that northwesterly flow picking up, signaling we're on the backside of that cold front, it's feeling like 21 over towards Blackwell, 24 to Nowata, 26 down towards Eufaula, 25 over towards Pawnee. For today's forecast, again, temperatures really not budging all that much from where we're at right now. So we're generally going to stay in those mid 30s. Could see a little sun peeking through closer to about sunset, which is at 5:28. And as we get into the evening hours, notice we do get a quick clearing and calmer winds. It's only going to allow those temperatures to fall through the overnight. So we go from highs in the mid 30s. Ready for this? Overnight lows, yikes, 16 degrees. We'll get clear skies, calm winds. We have that snowpack on the ground, and that'll allow those temperatures to fall quite a bit. We do have some cloud coverage that might linger around to our easternmost counties. That will help those temperatures ever so slightly, but not as much as what we would like to see. So very cold start tomorrow morning. Thankfully, it is Saturday, so we're not having to get out necessarily for work and or school. Hang back in. Do not get out on those area roadways. I do expect a lot of icing to be going on, especially for those areas that have been treated. We get a little bit of slush on those roadways. You know what happens? It starts to freeze again, and that's going to create a lot of issues. So until we climb above freezing, kind of hang back again tomorrow. 39 and then 41 on Sunday. I can promise you an extended quiet period for next week. Quiet's good after a pretty active weather pattern last weekend and even this week. Now we kind of take a break, but for how long? That's the big question.